There exists a frequency that the ancient mystery schools whispered about only behind closed doors, a vibration so potent, so fundamentally aligned with the fabric of reality itself, that those who learned to harness it were said to bend the very laws of the physical world to their will. The Pythagoreans called it the music of the spheres. The Vedic rishis knew it as the primordial Om. The Hermetic adepts referred to it as the cosmic tone. But here's what they never told you in the sanitized versions of these teachings. This wasn't metaphor. This wasn't poetry. This was technology. What if I told you that every thought you've ever had, every emotion you've ever felt, and every outcome you've ever experienced in your life has been the result of vibrations, invisible waves of energy that ripple through the quantum field, literally sculpting your reality moment by moment? And what if the reason this knowledge has been kept forbidden isn't because it's dangerous, but because it's liberating? Because once you understand how to consciously align with certain universal frequencies, you become ungovernable by the systems designed to keep you small, distracted, and disconnected from your true creative power. In this exploration, we're going to tear away the veil on one of the most suppressed truths in human history, the science and spirituality of universe vibrations. We'll journey through the hidden wisdom of ancient civilizations who built their entire societies around vibrational principles. We'll decode the precise mechanisms by which your personal frequency either attracts or repels the experiences you desire. And most importantly, we'll extract the forbidden techniques, the actual practices that were once reserved only for initiates of the inner temples, that allow you to recalibrate your energetic signature and tap into the specific vibrations that govern abundance, health, synchronicity, and spiritual awakening. This isn't about wishful thinking or positive affirmations. This is about understanding the vibrational architecture of the universe itself and learning to play it like an instrument. To understand why this knowledge was forbidden, we must first travel back to the cradle of human civilization, where the guardians of sacred wisdom understood something that modern science is only now beginning to rediscover. Everything in existence is vibration. In the mystery schools of ancient Egypt, initiates spent decades mastering what they called Heka, the science of activating magic through sound and resonance. The priests of Karnak and the architects of the pyramids weren't simply builders, they were acoustic engineers who understood that specific frequencies could alter consciousness, heal the body, and even manipulate matter itself. The king's chamber in the Great Pyramid, with its precise dimensions and granite construction, wasn't a tomb. It was a resonance chamber designed to amplify certain frequencies that would propel an initiate's consciousness into higher dimensional awareness. When Napoleon spent a night alone in that chamber in 1799, he emerged pale and shaken, refusing ever to speak of what he experienced. He had encountered the forbidden frequencies. The Pythagorean Brotherhood of ancient Greece took this wisdom and systematized it into what they called the harmony of the spheres, a cosmological model that described the universe as a vast musical instrument where planets, stars, and all of creation vibrated at specific mathematical ratios. Pythagoras himself was initiated into the Egyptian mysteries and understood that numbers weren't just abstract concepts, they were vibrational codes that governed the structure of reality. His famous saying, "All is number," was an encrypted way of saying all is frequency. The Brotherhood guarded this knowledge jealously, and those who violated their oath of secrecy were said to have been drowned at sea. Why such extreme measures? Because they knew that someone who truly understood vibrational mathematics could reshape their entire reality. In the Vedic traditions of ancient India, The rishis who composed the Upanishads spoke of nada Brahma, the concept that the universe itself is sound, that all of creation is the manifestation of primordial vibration. They developed an entire science called Nada Yoga, the yoga of sound, which mapped specific frequencies to the chakras, the energy centers of the human body. These weren't New Age inventions, they were precise technologies for tuning the human nervous system to resonate with cosmic frequencies. The sacred syllable Om wasn't chosen arbitrarily. When properly intoned, it vibrates at 432 Hz, a frequency that modern researchers have found to be in mathematical harmony with the fundamental resonance of water, human DNA, and the electromagnetic patterns of the Earth itself. The Hermetic texts of Hellenistic Egypt, particularly the Kabbalion, codified these principles into the principle of vibration, the third of 7 universal laws. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates, it declares. But here's the forbidden part that most commentators gloss over. The text goes on to explain that by mastering your own vibration, you can influence the vibrations around you, effectively becoming a conscious co-creator of your reality rather than a passive victim of circumstance. Why was this knowledge suppressed? Throughout history, whenever centralized powers, whether religious institutions, monarchies, or modern power structures, sought to control populations, they first worked to sever people's connection to these vibrational truths. Because a person who knows how to consciously attune their frequency doesn't need external authorities to tell them what's possible. They become a sovereign creator, aligned with the universe itself. The ancient adepts knew what modern quantum physics is now confirming. At the most fundamental level, there are no solid objects, only patterns of vibration dancing in an infinite field of potential. Now let's decode the mechanics of how universe vibrations actually work, because understanding this will fundamentally transform how you perceive reality itself. Imagine the universe as an infinite ocean. Not an ocean of water, but an ocean of energy, a quantum field of pure potentiality that permeates everything, everywhere, at all times. Scientists call it the zero-point field, the quantum vacuum, or the unified field. The ancients called it the akasha, the ether, or simply the void. But here's what matters. This field is not empty. It's teeming with vibrations, frequencies, and waves of information that are constantly interacting, interfering, and creating patterns. Every single thing that exists in our physical reality, from the chair you're sitting on to the thoughts moving through your mind right now, is nothing more than a specific pattern of vibration within this field. Matter itself, as quantum physics has proven, is not solid. When you zoom down to the subatomic level, atoms are 99.9999% empty space, with tiny particles that aren't really particles at all, but rather vibrating strings of energy. The great physicist Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, declared, "There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particle of an atom to vibration." Here's where it gets profound. You are not separate from this ocean of vibration. You are a localized intensification of it. Your body is a symphony of frequencies. Your heart beats at a certain rhythm, your brain waves oscillate in measurable patterns. Every cell in your body vibrates at its own signature frequency. Even your thoughts and emotions are vibrational phenomena, generating electromagnetic fields that can be measured several feet beyond your physical body. But here's the forbidden truth that changes everything. Your personal vibration is not fixed. It's not determined by your genetics, your past, or your circumstances. Your vibration is a choice you're making moment by moment through your focus, your emotions, and your beliefs. And because the quantum field responds to vibration through a principle called resonance, whatever frequency you're broadcasting is what you'll attract back to you. Let me explain resonance with a simple but powerful analogy. If you have two guitars in a room and you pluck the A string on one guitar, the A string on the other guitar will begin to vibrate sympathetically, even though you didn't touch it. This is resonance, the tendency of one vibrating system to transfer energy to another system that naturally vibrates at the same frequency. This same principle operates at every level of reality, from atoms to galaxies to human consciousness.
The Hermetic texts of Hellenistic Egypt, particularly the Kabbalion, codified these principles into the principle of vibration, the third of 7 universal laws. Nothing rests, everything moves. When you hold a consistent vibration of abundance, gratitude, and creative power, the quantum field, through the law of resonance, begins to reorganize the circumstances, opportunities, and people in your life to match that frequency. When you hold a vibration of fear, lack, and victimhood, the field responds to that frequency instead. This isn't mystical speculation, it's demonstrable physics applied to consciousness.
The famous double-slit experiment proved that observation affects quantum behavior. The observer effect shows that consciousness itself plays a role in collapsing wave functions into particles, potentiality into actuality. You are not a passive observer of a pre-existing reality. You are an active participant whose very state of being influences what manifests in your experience. But here's the crucial distinction that most people miss. It's not your conscious desires or your spoken affirmations that determine your frequency. It's your dominant emotional state and the subconscious beliefs running beneath your awareness. You can repeat, "I am abundant," 1,000 times, but if your nervous system is calibrated to the frequency of scarcity, if your body is holding trauma patterns of lack, if your subconscious believes that wealth is dangerous or that you're unworthy, then that's the vibration you're broadcasting into the field. This is why positive thinking alone doesn't work. You must change your vibration at the somatic, neurological, and energetic level. You must become a different frequency. Now we venture into the deeper layers of this forbidden knowledge, the specific frequencies that govern different aspects of reality and how the universe organizes itself through vibrational hierarchies. The ancient mystery schools taught that there are 7 primary frequency bands, or rays, that structure all of creation. Modern science has inadvertently validated this through the discovery of the electromagnetic spectrum. Visible light is just one tiny sliver of a vast continuum of frequencies, ranging from low-frequency radio waves to high-frequency gamma rays. But consciousness itself operates on frequencies that transcend even this spectrum, existing in dimensions that our current instruments cannot yet measure.
Here's a truth that will shift your entire worldview. Different frequencies carry different types of information and attract different experiences. Fear vibrates at approximately 0.2 to 2.2 Hz, a slow, dense, contracting frequency. Love vibrates at approximately 528 Hz, often called the miracle frequency because it's associated with DNA repair and transformation. Enlightened states of consciousness vibrate even higher in ranges that correlate with gamma brainwaves at 40 Hz and above. This isn't metaphor, these are measurable electromagnetic signatures.
But there's a paradox here that the uninitiated often miss. Higher frequencies aren't inherently better than lower frequencies. This is where many spiritual teachings go astray. The universe needs the full spectrum. Low frequencies ground you, connect you to the physical plane, give you survival instincts and embodied presence. The problem arises when you become stuck in lower frequencies, when fear, anger, or shame become your baseline rather than temporary states you move through. The forbidden aspect of this knowledge concerns what the Hermetic Masters called mental transmutation, the ability to consciously shift your frequency at will. They understood that consciousness is the ultimate technology, capable of moving up and down the vibrational scale like tuning a radio dial. Most humans are unconsciously stuck on one or two stations, playing the same frequency patterns on repeat because of conditioning, trauma, and collective programming. But the adept learns to become the master of the dial. Here's where it gets even more intricate. Your personal frequency doesn't just attract matching experiences, it also determines which version of reality you perceive and interact with. Quantum physics speaks of the many worlds interpretation, the idea that all possible realities exist simultaneously as probability waves until observation collapses them into experience. From this perspective, shifting your vibration isn't just about attracting different things into your existing reality. It's about quantum jumping to a parallel timeline where those things already exist. Think of reality as an infinite radio stations all broadcasting simultaneously. When you're vibrating at the frequency of lack, you're literally tuned to the lack channel, perceiving and experiencing a version of reality where scarcity is real and everywhere. When you shift to the frequency of abundance, you don't change your reality, you change channels. You quantum leap to a timeline where abundance has always been available to you, where opportunities that were impossible on the other channel are now obvious and accessible. This explains why two people can inhabit the same physical location, yet have completely different experiences. They're not seeing the same reality through different lenses. They're actually interfacing with different probability streams based on their vibrational frequency. The mystic and the skeptic can witness the same event, and one perceives a miracle while the other sees a coincidence. Both are correct within their respective frequency bands. Now here's the part that was most closely guarded. There are specific frequencies that act as master keys to unlock entire domains of reality. The solfeggio frequencies, 396 Hz for liberation from fear, 417 Hz for transmutation, 528 Hz for transformation, 639 Hz for connection, 741 Hz for awakening intuition, 852 Hz for spiritual order. These aren't arbitrary numbers. They're harmonic ratios derived from ancient musical scales that resonate with the fundamental architecture of consciousness itself. But the ultimate forbidden frequency is the one that resonates with your own soul's signature, your unique vibrational blueprint that exists beyond all conditioning. When you discover and embody this frequency, you step into your true power as a conscious creator. Now we arrive at the most valuable part of this transmission, the actual techniques you can use to consciously shift your vibration and align with the frequencies that serve your highest evolution. These aren't mere exercises, they're initiatory practices that were once reserved for those who had proven their commitment to the path. The morning frequency calibration. Your first waking moments are the most neurologically plastic period of your day. Your brain is transitioning from theta waves, the dream state, to alpha and beta waves, waking consciousness. In this liminal space, you have a golden window to imprint your desired frequency before the default patterns of your conditioned mind take over. Before reaching for your phone, before engaging with external stimuli, place your hand on your heart and take 3 deep breaths. With each exhale, vocalize a low Om sound from your belly. Feel the vibration resonating in your chest cavity.
Then spend 3 to 5 minutes embodying, not just visualizing, but feeling in your body the emotional frequency of your desired reality. If you want abundance, feel the relief, the freedom, the gratitude as if it's already here. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. You're literally retuning your bioelectric field.
The Vibrational Reset Protocol. Throughout your day, you'll inevitably encounter people, situations, and information that knock you out of your chosen frequency. The key is not to avoid these disruptions, but to develop the capacity to reset quickly. When you notice you've dropped into a lower frequency, anxiety, frustration, doubt, don't resist it. Resistance keeps you locked in that frequency. Instead, use this 3-step reset. First, acknowledge the frequency without judgment. I notice I'm in fear right now. Second, physically move. Shake your body, jump, dance for just 60 seconds. This discharges the stagnant energy and interrupts the neural pattern. Third, activate a higher frequency anchor. A memory, a piece of music, a mantra, or a breath pattern that you've pre-associated with your desired state. With practice, this reset takes less than 2 minutes.
Sound technology and sacred frequencies. Integrate the solfeggio frequencies into your daily practice. You can find these on any streaming platform. Play 528 Hz during meditation, creative work, or healing practices. Use 432 Hz music as your ambient soundscape. This is the frequency of natural harmony, and even passive listening begins to entrain your nervous system. For deep subconscious reprogramming, listen to theta wave binaural beats, 4 to 7 Hz, while falling asleep with headphones, as your subconscious is most receptive in this state.
The coherence breath. The HeartMath Institute has proven that coherent heart rhythms, when your heart rate variability follows a smooth sine wave pattern, generate electromagnetic fields that are 5,000 times stronger than your brain's fields. To create heart coherence, breathe in for 5 counts, hold for 5 counts, exhale for 5 counts, hold for 5 counts. While doing this, focus your awareness in your heart center and generate a feeling of gratitude or appreciation. Do this for 5 minutes daily, and you'll literally amplify your vibrational broadcast power. The frequency fast. Once per week, practice a frequency fast where you abstain from all media, news, social media, and external inputs for 24 hours. This allows your system to discharge the discordant frequencies you've absorbed and return to your baseline signature. Use this time for silence, nature, creative expression, or deep rest.
The challenge and the key. The biggest obstacle isn't learning these techniques, it's consistency. Your old frequency is a well-worn groove in your nervous system, defended by the ego's need for familiar patterns. Expect resistance. Expect backsliding. The key is to remember that every time you consciously choose your frequency, you're weakening the old pattern and strengthening the new one. Neuroplasticity is on your side. Within 21 days of consistent practice, you'll notice synchronicities appearing. Within 90 days, your external reality will begin to reflect the shift unmistakably.
We've journeyed through the forbidden archives of vibrational wisdom, from the resonance chambers of ancient Egypt to the quantum field that pulses beneath every moment of your existence. We've decoded the mechanics of how consciousness and frequency intertwine to create what you call reality. And we've extracted the practical technologies that allow you to become what the ancient adepts truly were: conscious artists of reality itself. But here's the final truth that must be spoken.
This knowledge will remain forbidden to you only as long as you allow it to stay theoretical. The universe doesn't respond to what you know, it responds to what you embody. You can memorize every frequency, understand every principle, and still remain trapped in the same vibrational prison if you don't take the decisive action to reprogram your nervous system, your beliefs, and your energetic signature.
The mystery schools didn't guard this wisdom because they wanted to hoard power. They guarded it because they understood that it only works for those who were willing to do the work. The initiate who spent years in the temples wasn't learning secret information. They were undergoing a vibrational transformation. They were literally becoming a different frequency.
So here's your initiation. For the next 21 days, commit to the morning frequency calibration. Not when you feel like it, not when it's convenient, every single day. Prove to the universe, and more importantly to yourself, that you're serious about claiming your creative sovereignty. Watch what happens. Watch how reality bends, how synchronicities multiply, how opportunities that were invisible suddenly become obvious. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not at the mercy of a random universe. You are a vibrational being in a vibrational universe, and you have been equipped with the most sophisticated frequency tuning device ever created, your consciousness.
The question is no longer whether this works. Quantum physics, neuroscience, and thousands of years of mystical testimony have already answered that. The only question that matters now is, will you use it? The frequency you broadcast in the next moment is the reality you'll experience in the next. Choose wisely, choose consciously, choose powerfully. The universe is listening. What will you tell it?